Good morning. Welcome back to the Red Mic. Happy Friday. It's September 12th, 2025. And Red Mic messages are leadership and life lessons picked up mainly from 25 years as a public servant, 16 years as a youth football coach and scouting volunteer, and 10 years as a mediocre athlete with far more heart than actual physical ability. Today's Red Mic message, remembering September 12th every year on this date, mainly because of things that happened a year or two after 9/11 and have just gotten worse along the way. Every year on this date, I'm reminded that as horrific as the 9/11 attacks were, on September 12th, the day after, something really important happened, something really meaningful, something more powerful than any of us individually could have probably done. September 12th, 2001, flags were everywhere. Strangers would hold hands in prayer circles. Firefighters were on street corners with boots collecting donations for their fallen brethren. And we emptied our wallets not because we had to, but because in some ways it was the only way we felt like we could help. People smiled more. We waved each other into traffic a little easier. We looked at each other with a shared sense of humanity. For a brief period, all too brief, all of the labels we like to stick on each other just didn't matter. Republican, Democrat, black, white, rich, poor, none of it defined us. The fact that we were Americans and that we were hurting after this attack on our nation, on our ideals, on our person. We were Americans and we were leaning on each other in grief. And we were standing together in resolve with an upraised fist saying, we're done. I hope we can get back there. I hope that we can remember. Again, I've said this so many times. The things that unite us as Americans should be greater than anything else that separates us. Because of social media, we live in a time where disagreements are louder, they're sharper, and they're meaner. I've got strong beliefs. I'm not afraid to share them. And I will fight in political and government venues to advance those ideas. I'm not going to hide where I stand on my ethics, my principles, my core convictions. But just because I disagree with you, it does not mean that I hate you. It doesn't mean that I think less of you. It doesn't mean that I want to strip you of your dignity. It means that we disagree. That's all. We need to learn that. We need to relearn that. Because if we can't relearn that, then we've lost something more important than policy battles or fights over pronouns. On September 12th, we didn't ask who someone voted for before we gave blood or what their ideology was before we joined that prayer circle and held hands with them. We simply showed up and we were there for each other. That's where America is at its best. When we remember that the sacrifices of the past unite us, that we, the people, is all of us. When red, white, and blue aren't just colors on a flag, they represent who we are as a people. It shouldn't take a national tragedy to unite us, to bring back that spirit. We got to get back. We've got to remember what it was like on September 12th when we were united, when Democrats and Republicans stood on the steps of the Capitol and sang together, prayed together. Here's my challenge for today, the weekend, moving forward. Speak your mind, stand for your principles, but do it with respect. Lead with dignity. Treat your neighbor as more than just a possible opponent. Treat them as a fellow American. Because again, the things that unite us will always, always, always be greater than the things that divide us. We just have to remember that. And that's today's Red Mic message. I hope you found it interesting. I hope you find it helpful. I'm beyond all hopes that you put this one particularly in place in your own life. America is strong, but we're also fragile. And it's up to us to keep it going. I love you guys. I'll see you again on Monday. I'll be back in regular Red Mike mode on Monday, I promise. In fact, I've got I think 2 more of the John Wooden things I'm going to talk about, and then I'll probably go back to pulling stuff out of headlines or whatever, and then putting my own little spin on them. Again, thanks for being here. I'll see you again Monday. Have a great weekend. And until next time, life is short. Drink the bourbon. I'll see you later.